All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to tackle a problem that seems to trip up just about everyone in a lab coat: chemistry dilutions. But forget all that confusion, because we're about to make it incredibly simple.
You know that feeling, right? Whether you're in biology, chemistry, or a medical lab, you've been there, staring at a problem, feeling like every single one is completely different. And let's be honest, the fear of messing up a calculation and wasting a sample, it's real. But what if it didn't have to be that hard?
Seriously, what if, instead of trying to memorize a dozen different formulas for every possible scenario, I told you there's one single, elegant key, one little concept that unlocks every single dilution problem you will ever face? And that key, that secret weapon, is something called the dilution factor. Once you really get this, I promise everything else just clicks. This is the one tool you need in your arsenal. So what exactly is it? It's really simple. The dilution factor is just the relationship, the ratio, between the concentration you want to end up with and the one you started with. Think of it as the bridge connecting your starting point to your final goal. And here it is. This is the only formula you're going to need. You just take your final concentration and divide it by your initial concentration. That's it. This one little calculation gives you that magic number, the dilution factor. Okay, so theory is one thing, but let's actually see this in action. We're going to walk through a real-world problem step by step so you can see for yourself just how powerful this thing is. So here's our scenario. We've got a stock solution that's pretty concentrated at 50 micrograms per microliter, and our goal is to get it down to a final concentration of 17. To do this, we're starting out with 150 microliters of that original stock solution. We are going to solve this in just two incredibly easy steps. That's all it takes. First, we'll find our dilution factor, and second, we'll use that factor to figure out the total final volume our new solution needs to be. Ready? Let's do it. Okay, step 1, calculating the dilution factor. We take our final concentration, which is 17, and we divide it by our initial concentration, which is 50. And check this out. The units, micrograms per microliter, they just cancel each other out. This leaves us with a simple, pure number. And the number is 0.34. This is it. This is our key. This is the dilution factor we were looking for. It's the piece of the puzzle that's going to solve everything else for us. Now, on to step 2. We take the volume we started with, that 150 microliters, and we divide it by the dilution factor we just found, 0.34. See how this works? The dilution factor is what links our concentrations to our volumes. The math gives us 441.17 microliters. Now, this number represents the total final volume. That means our original 150 microliters of stock solution is inside this final volume. And this leads us to the single most common mistake people make. Okay, pay close attention, because this is the aha moment. This is where so many people get it wrong. They see that number, 441.17, and they think, great, that's how much water I add. But no, it's not. Let's make this distinction absolutely crystal clear. You have to separate the number you calculate from the action you take in the lab. The total final volume is what our math told us. It's the total space the new solution will take up in the tube. But the solvent to add is the amount of liquid you will actually pipette into your starting sample. They are two different things. So to find out how much liquid we actually need to add, we do one last super simple subtraction. We take that total final volume, 441.17, and we subtract the volume we started with, 150. And there it is, our real-world, practical answer. We need to add exactly 291.17 microliters of our solvent. Done. And just like that, we've solved it. See? No crazy algebra, no confusing ratios, just a clear, simple process. And the best part? This isn't just a trick for this one problem. You've just learned a new superpower you can use on all of them. So let's just recap that process so it sticks. First, you identify your starting and ending concentrations. Second, you calculate that all-important dilution factor. Third, use that factor to find your total final volume. And finally, just subtract your starting volume to figure out exactly how much solvent to add. That's the whole game plan, right there. So here's the bottom line. You are now equipped. You have the universal key. The next time a dilution problem comes across your bench, you're not going to feel that wave of panic. You're going to know exactly what to do. It really makes you think, doesn't it? How many other things in science or even in life that seem impossibly complex are actually just waiting for us to find that one simple key that makes it all fall into place?
makes you wonder what you'll unlock next.